Welcome to Minecraft Trivia. Each round there's 2 facts and 1 lie. Then you have to find out which one is fake. So at the end of the game, make sure you comment your results and maybe you'll find all of them. So let's start off with round number 1. The widely known creeper was originally a coding error for a pig model. The Evoker has a plethora of unique abilities, one of which is also the ability to change a blue sheep's color into red. The Wither will only drop its Nether Star if it's killed directly by a player. Now that you have seen the facts, take a second to choose which one's a lie. During the development of Minecraft, Notch accidentally switched the height and length values while trying to create the pig model. This mistake resulted in the iconic creeper shape. Evokers, which are found in woodland mansions and raids, have a special ability called the Woolulu that changes the color of any nearby blue sheep's wool to red. As for the Wither, it will always drop its Nether Star, even if it's killed by external factors like TNT, creepers, or even potion effects. Round 2. The Ender Dragon is immune to all possible potion effects. Baby zombies have a chance of riding other mobs that includes chickens, wolves, and even other adult zombies. It is possible to combine 2 different kinds of double slabs into one full block. Now that you have seen the facts, take a second to choose which one's a lie. So baby zombies do in fact have a rare chance of sparring with various jockeys. The most common form is the chicken jockey, but it's also possible for them to ride wolves or even other zombies. It is in fact true that you can combine 2 different types of double slabs in Minecraft. You do this by placing them in a world border and using a piston to smoosh them together. While the Ender Dragon does have resistance to some potion effects, it is not immune to every single one. For example, it can be damaged by lingering potions or normal potions of harming, and even healed with potions of healing. Round number 3. Axolotls can play dead when attacked, causing hostile mobs to ignore them. Flying down with rockets using an elytra is always faster than flying down while not using rockets. If a pig is struck by lightning in the overworld, it will transform into a zombified piglin. Now that you have seen the facts, take a second to choose which one's a lie. So, axolotls, which are aquatic mobs, have a defense mechanism where they play dead when injured. This ability causes most hostile mobs to stop attacking them, allowing the axolotl to regenerate its health and escape. When a pig is hit by lightning, it does in fact turn into a zombified piglin. This transformation ties into the nether-related lore of Minecraft. Now, if you thought flying down with rockets was faster, I'm sorry to disappoint, but it's actually far slower than flying down normally. The only thing you will be doing is just wasting rockets. Round number 4. A panda's personality, behavior, and appearance can be dictated by its genes. Using a Silk Touch pickaxe on a mob spawner will allow you to pick it up and place it elsewhere. You can use a saddle to ride and control a pig, but if you want to do that, you also need a carrot on a stick to direct its movements. Now that you have seen the facts, take a second to choose which one's a lie. So pandas do have a unique gene system that affects their behavior and appearance. The different personalities include lazy, playful, worried, aggressive, weak, brown, and normal. If you do put a saddle on a pig, you will be able to ride it around and do some very interesting things. If you use a Silk Touch pickaxe on a mob spawner, it will sadly not allow you to pick up that mob spawner. And the only thing you'll get from it is some experience points. Round number 5. When a shulker is hit by another shulker's bullet, there is a slight chance it will split into 2 different shulkers. If you give a fish water breathing, it will not suffocate on land. When a piglin is in the overworld for more than 15 seconds, it will transform into a zombified piglin. Now that you have seen the facts, take a second to choose which one's a lie. So as weird as it sounds, shulkers breed, or rather clone themselves, when they are hit by another shulker's bullet. And this only happens if the shulker is in a completely open state. If a piglin does wander into the overworld, it will transform into a zombified piglin. This transformation is irreversible, and the same also happens to hogs, where they turn into zombified hoglins. Now, because Minecraft has many inverse potion effects, like for example, potions of healing damaged zombies, you would think that potions of water breathing would give fish the ability to breathe on land. But sadly, that isn't the case. Round number 6. Feeding a snow golem a bucket of powdered snow will fully restore its health. A snow golem melts in hot biomes like the desert or in the nether. Dolphins like to play with items that are floating on the water surface by bumping into them. Now that you have seen the facts, take a second to choose which one's a lie. So snow golems are very sensitive to temperature. If a snow golem enters a hot biome, such as the desert, savanna or nether, it will progressively take damage until it eventually melts. When Mojang designed dolphins, they made them with playful nature, and they will interact with floating items in water by nudging them around. And lastly, you cannot feed a snow golem snow. And if you think throwing snowballs at them will do the trick, well, this does not heal them. So for the time being, if a snow golem takes damage, you cannot heal him. Round number 7. Endermen will not become hostile if the player looks at them through a transparent block. The names Jab and Dinnerbone can be applied to mobs, which will create a unique effect. If you place a bed in the nether, it can be used to set a respawn point. Now that you have seen the facts, take a second to choose which one's a lie. No, Endermen do in fact become aggressive if a player makes direct eye contact. However, if there's a transparent block in between them like water or glass, the Enderman will not detect the stare and will remain neutral. So naming a sheep Jab will make its wool cycle through all colors of the rainbow. And you can also name any mob Dinnerbone, which will turn them upside down.
Help me.
Now, if you try to sleep in the nether, yeah, you will explode into a million bits. Round number 8. Dolphins will lead players to bury treasure even if they didn't feed them raw fish. A llama speeding attack can hit multiple targets if they are lined up properly. During a thunderstorm, there is a small chance when lightning strikes that it will spawn a skeleton horse. Now that you have seen the facts, take a second to choose which one's a lie. So llamas use their speed as a form of attack, and if multiple targets are in the line of the speed's trajectory, it can hit more than one entity, making it a potential effective defense mechanism.
Stay frosty.
Now, it is true that skeleton horses do spawn from lightning, and it is possible for it to become a trap, which means it spawns multiple skeleton horsemen riding it. As for the dolphins, this is false, because they will only lead you to shipwrecks, ruins or buried treasure if you feed them raw fish. Round number 9. A cat will hiss at creepers to prevent them from attacking the player. If you enchant a sword with looting, it will also help you gain more experience from killing mobs. There is a special rabbit in Minecraft named the Killer Bunny, which will literally hunt you down and try to kill you. Now that you have seen the facts, take a second to choose which one's a lie. So cats do in fact have a unique ability to scare away creepers, and if you position this cat accordingly, it will keep creepers away from your base, making them a viable defense mechanism against you being blown up in your base. So the Killer Bunny is a hostile rabbit variant that was originally included as an Easter egg, and it's a reference from the film Monty Python and the Holy Grail, the movie from 1975. As for the looting effect, it does sadly not give you more experience. The only thing it does is that it gives you more mob drops. And lastly, we have round number 10. Feeding a parrot a cookie will tame it instantly. Wild and tamed wolves like to attack skeletons the same way they do sheep. We all know that ender pearls can be used to travel through the nether roof, but if used correctly, they can also allow you to travel through a few different types of walls. Now that you have seen the facts, take a second to choose which one's a lie. Yes, tamed wolves naturally have a hostility towards skeletons and will attack them automatically when they come into range. They do this even if you didn't tame them. As for the ender pearls, it is in fact possible to teleport through blocks which are made from transparent materials. And lastly, feeding a parrot a cookie is not the best thing possible, because if you do it, it poisons it, causes it to take damage, and eventually die. This mechanic was included as a caution against feeding birds chocolate in real life. Now let's look at the results. If you got 1 to 3 answers correct, you're most probably a beginner player. You've played Minecraft a few times and don't know the ins and outs of the game yet. If you got 4 to 6 points, you know a decent amount about the game. You've been playing for a good time and you've seen some of these facts firsthand. If you got 7 to 9 points, you're a hardcore player. You know almost everything about the game and you have for sure spent countless of hours doing a plethora of different things. And if you got all 10 correct, well then, in all honesty, you are insane.